to this episode of Midwest Finest on PiKture Time TV. My name is Idris, and we're out here in Michigan at the 2014 Take the City concert in Three Rivers, and we're here with Excalibar. Excalibar, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's glad to have you on the show. The last time we had you on the show, it was an album release party of some. Can you remind us about that?
The last time I was on the show was, I believe it was Young Corey's album release party, matter of fact. That was in, that was a minute. It was Tag album release party, and it was in, where he lived?
Rochester, Indiana.
Rochester, Indiana. That's the last time I was on the show.
All right, now for our audience who, I know a lot of people know who Excalibar is, but for those who are just watching for the first time, can you tell us about yourself? Just give us a brief introduction. Who is Excalibar?
I mean, I like to look at myself as just, an artist, a hip-hop artist who ties in the gospel and who ties in Christ in the lyrics, Christian lifestyle with dealing with the everyday practical issues. So I have a conversational flow, you know what I mean, where it's just like I'm talking to you. When you listen to my music, it's like we having conversation. So, and I deal with all issues, relationships, political issues, social issues, of course, spiritual issues, you know what I mean? So
now, before we get in deep right now, can we ask you about your origin story? Where you from and what city do you represent?
Well, I'm from born and raised, in New York, you know what I mean? Harlem born, you know what I'm saying? But I live in Elkhart now, Elkhart, Indiana. So I got that blend going on. I represent Elkhart because I live here and I've been here for the last decade or so, you know what I mean? But I am born and raised in New York City, experienced the hardships, drug life, parents on drugs, been through the foster care system, been shipped around from home to home, so I experienced that lifestyle, and even when I got older, got into drugs and drinking and the party and club scene and life like that, you know what I mean? And so, in my music, you'll hear that, you'll hear me talk about that briefly, but then, convert it over to Christ, you know what I mean? When I moved to Indiana, you know what I mean? And ever since then, it's just been that beaten path.
That's awesome. Now tell us about your musical journey. When did you discover your talent?
That's a good question. I used to rap, before I got into Christ, I used to rap. And I wasn't heavy into it. It was just something to do, you know what I mean? I was into art first, artist, drawing, painting, stuff like that. And then I really grasped to the hip-hop culture, once I heard a couple of songs that I liked, then I really got into the hip-hop culture. But then guys just started converting my lyrics as my heart started changing. Then my lyrics started changing. It wasn't okay, I seen God or I experienced a God and then it just totally flipped. It was a gradual change as my heart started changing and me going towards more of God, you know what I mean? Then my lyrics started changing. And so now I've been rapping for, I want to say 14, 15 years, and laying the foundation in the gospel for at least 12, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my journey.
And I was gonna, specifically ask that professionally and stuff, but can you share with us, with our audience, our viewers right now, an unforgettable experience in your musical journey that you can remember? Good, bad, funny, it could be anything.
I remember I was in Nebraska. Norfolk, Nebraska. And I was nervous because they asked me to do something on Sunday at their church, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a traditional setting. They do contemporary worship, so it was a weird feeling, and I was like, okay, I'm really uneasy about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And so, and I went and I did it. I did a song called "Mold Me," and after I did it, adults and kids, they just was so moved by the song, they was crying. And it was shocking to me to watch adults, particularly, how that song, especially a rap song, have an impact to move somebody to tears, that was an experience. I was like, wow, okay, because you used to hearing rap and it's up tempo, it's upbeat, but the lyrics in the song Mold Me, really reaches out, and to see that type of response was interesting. It was a new experience for me.
Wow. Now I know about Light Riders, the Light Rider music, and Excalibar and stuff. Now, what is the latest update from the stable of Excalibar and Light Rider music?
Well, me and my wife just started to branch out and start a label called Light Rider Music. Anybody that support Light Riders, you're a Light Rider, But we started to make a business out of it, and so that we have a platform, because we are also seeking other artists under this platform so that they could also put out their music. There's not a lot of platforms for this. So we started that, and the next project is the Roll the Dice project. So I'm the first one to release under the Light Rider Music label. And so the next project that we're working on is Roll the Dice. It's called Roll the Dice. It's talk about taking chances, taking risks. And so that's the first release out of Light Rider Music, is the project Roll the Dice, which I'm excited about. Got some excellent features on there. So
now, for those who already know Excalibar, they know that you got lots of music. Can you tell us about your previous works? Just make a count.
Oh, wow, my previous works. It's hard to know where to start from. I remember I was part of Burn Unit, with my man Scholar Rock out in Chicago when we was doing music out there. Mm-hmm. And then when I had the crew, Light Riders first was just a crew of artists. Mm-hmm. And so we had the compilation Light Riders Charity, where it's like 8 artists got together and just worked on some music, came out with a project, came out with a CD. Then following that, we had the Fellowship CD, with the Light Riders crew. Again, 8 of us coming together, being unified, putting out material. Then I came out with something different. My first, my first solo project, was something different. It did really well, and then during that time, I went through a rough period, lost 2 of my kids. And so, didn't know what I was going to do at that point, so we had a meeting, me and my crew, me and my team, we had a meeting. Then I just really felt that God wanted me to continue to push forward. So, then I came out with Pyramids to Projects. And Pyramids to Projects is doing very well. We have a couple of videos for it. Great features on that for that too. You can always go to YouTube or Light Rider Music. Just Google it, or you can just find all that information on the web. But we Pyramids did really well. Pyramids did really well for us, and so now we got the Roll the Dice CD coming out.
So. Yeah, we're excited for Roll the Dice CD.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to ask you, where can people find and support your works? Because I know a couple myself. I know lightrider.webs.com. I know twitter.com/getexcalibur. I know b100.com/getexcalibur. Are there any other places that people can go?
You can go on Amazon,
yes, buy the CD. Yeah, buy it. Buy the music. That's how you can support.
Yeah, you can go on Amazon. We're working on a distribution deal right now, so I'm working on that so that it can get distributed everywhere. All your online channels, Spotify, iTunes, all of that. So I'm working on that right now. By the time you probably even see this, it'll be out. It'll be on those channels. So, like I said, you could just go to your website, Google it, and you'll find it. You can go to Reverb Nation. I'm on Reverb Nation now, so you can check that out.
ReverbNation.com/Excalibur4.
Yep, that's the site. So you can go check that out now. So we're really trying to expand it, expand the branding, put Light Rider music out there. So just Google me.
All right, now any last words and shout out to anybody from around the world.
Of course, I got plenty of shout outs. I got to give a shout out to, of course, PiKture Time, ResQ Records, you know what I mean? I got to give a shout out. 3CK, that's my dude, 3CK, you know. EA Pro Music, that's my guy, you know. And I just want to shout out everybody that support, you know what I mean? Just had a number of people, number of supporters, you know, Tag, you know, Incline, you know. So, of course, my wife, my kids, they sacrifice, you know, for me able to do what I do. So, yeah, and then to you, you know, to you, the listener, you know, you created, you know, y'all accept what I do, you know, and the purpose is ultimately to reach the lost, to encourage the saved, you know, to continue to build and spread the word and build the kingdom.
All right, thanks for giving us this interview, and we wish you good luck with the release of Roll the Dice and much success.
Appreciate it, and if you ever want to contact me for an event, you know, you can just either contact me through Facebook, you know, or you can email me, getexcalibar@gmail.com, or you can just call me on the phone, send me a text, 574-747-0808. All right, thanks, y'all.
Rock the show tonight.
That's the plan.